Hi everyone. If you're a regular viewer to my YouTube channel, you'll know that I've been on holiday, and so there was always going to be a gap between my last video and anything following that. And whilst loads have been going on since I've been away, I've got to be honest, I pretty much have had no appetite to really talk about it. It's all been really pretty depressing stuff, and just feel like I'm constantly repeating myself and saying the same things, which is boring for you as a viewer. So I kind of thought, you know what, I'll take a little bit of a break, I'll leave it a few days and maybe start speaking when I can really face it. And so today I decided that I'll try and give some thoughts on what's been happening and how I'm feeling about it and so on. Hopefully that's alright with you. So the reality is I'm pretty pissed off at the minute. When I guess so is everybody else. Really pissed off because it's nothing but doom and gloom. Every day another crap story comes out saying this, that and the other, and there's no good news in there at all. And I suppose that's because Tottenham Hotspur are not actually communicating at all with their fans. They're not telling us anything. And it's a real problem, because all you're getting is loads and loads of potential misinformation. Information might be true, we don't know. So at the moment you're kind of stuck in limbo. 48, 49 days now without a manager, and you've got to think to yourself, there must be work going on in the background to employ somebody. But the problem is we don't know who, like any idea as to what kind of direction are we likely to go in. For years we've been trying to get into regular European spots, Champions League, with all the promise that that's supposed to deliver, and in my opinion didn't. And at that time, you know, you've kind of gone through umpteen managers just trying to get to that holy grail. We finally get there, get all the way to the final, and whilst things was going particularly poorly and we were lucky to get there, Pochettino, that was obviously souring of the relationship, and so we end up with a situation that Pochettino leaves and we bring in success now type managers, and both of them bombed out, probably because of their relationship with Daniel Levy or the board, or what they're trying to achieve, what their visions are. They're obviously different from each other, which you'd like to think that they would have talked about before they actually jumped into bed together, but clearly they didn't. And so now we're stuck with where do we go from here? So by all accounts, Nagelsmann is not going to be a coach, not being considered, and so on. Okay, fair enough. It's not for me to say whether he's the right manager or not. I don't know. I don't know enough about him as a manager to say whether he is the answer. But with the fact that we've got no other names coming forward, apart from speculation, you're left in no man's land yet again. And then you've got the Pochettino situation, which I think I've made myself fairly clear on. I think it's a bad move from his point of view to go to them. I think it's disrespectful to the fans, not to the club. I don't think it's disrespectful to the club. because as people keep pointing out to me, the club don't want him. Levy don't want him, Cullen don't want him, the board don't want him. So therefore, there's no reason for you to consider it to be disrespectful to the club. But when you've got fans singing your name, when you're nothing to do with the club, when you've got fans in the stand singing your name out, but you decide to go to one of the two clubs in the country that we wouldn't want you to go to me that says you don't give a shit about us. And I'm not saying he should, really, in particular. At the end of the day, it's his life, and he'll make his money wherever he wants and all the rest of it, and that's his choice. But then don't expect me to stand there and cheer you and say, well done Potts, you made the right decision and good for you, I wish you well. I don't. I hope that if you do go to Chelsea, which is what I keep being told, I hope it's an absolute disaster. I hope you don't get on with the players, I hope they treat you like shit, I hope the fans get on your back, and I hope you don't win anything. And then I don't even want you to come back following that. People saying to me, oh yeah, well we're more likely to get him back now as the next Chelsea manager. I'm like, I don't want him back anyway. I mean, if you look back at my previous videos in the past, I've actually been one that said I don't think going back is ever a really good thing. There are some odd exceptions, but generally speaking, if you go backwards to previous managers or players or whatever, it's never that good the second time round. So I always think to myself, that's a bit of a pointless exercise as well. But what I have said of late is this club is so fractured, it is in such disarray. The fans are at each other, the fans are at the board. I thought the only person who could probably bring any kind of unity back would be to go back to Pochettino. And as I said, I'm not saying he would be particularly successful, but at this moment in time, I can't see where we go from here. I can't see what Daniel Levy's going to do to survive it. The calls for him to leave are getting louder and louder. The protests are getting bigger and bigger. There is a call for people to wear purple and gold until we're sold and all that, and they're all admirable groups and all the rest of it, and all fans are entitled to their own opinions, but that's an increase, and it's fractures in the club. So I'm just at a loss as to where we go from here. I really am. And I said a way back that Antonio Conte was last chance saloon, because where do you go from there? But as I said, what's making it worse is the lack of information, a lack of clear direction for us to kind of get behind. I mean, I'm always going to support the club, like all of you. We've been in it for the long haul, we've been around a long time, we've seen the good, we've seen the bad, but now we're starting to see the ugly, because it is getting really like that. And if ever you felt that Daniel Levy and the board had a total disregard for the fans, couldn't give a monkeys about our feelings, you really see it now. You can really see it now. Total disregard. But hey, it's all conjecture. We don't know. Behind the scenes, Daniel may be working really hard with this new guy. He may be trying to step back and putting this Scott Munn in charge of all of the football affairs so that he can get out of it and concentrate on other stuff, take the flack away from him. And he may be looking for the director of football, the coach, and all the rest of it, and they may well be having conversations with certain people or scoping out certain people. God only knows. You'd like to think so. You can't expect a business to be any kind of success, regardless of whether it's on the field or not, but any kind of success without some kind of succession plan in place. But it just feeds on our frustration, I guess. So yeah, not a lot to really be happy about. At the same time, you've got ex-players all around the country and all around Europe telling Harry Kane what he needs to do. Marcel Desailly jumping on board now, and Micah Richards, who I thought was quite a good pundit, quite a funny guy and that, but living in cloud cuckoo land in his stupid coloured jackets, like, the guy's a fool. I mean, if anyone really thought that Micah Richards is a legend of football, then I'd be a monkey's uncle, you know. But the guy's got medals, which kind of proves the point that you don't have to win medals to be a legend, because with everything he's got, would you consider him anything, you know? But listen, it's all about opinions, isn't it? But yeah, I just think Harry Kane, in my opinion, probably likely to stay one more season, because I can't see anyone coming in to spend big money on him. And in a season he can go somewhere else for free. And the likelihood of us getting into Champions League is more with him in the team than out of the team, that's for sure. Because out of the team, we are in big trouble, looking at mid-table mediocrity, in my opinion. Because for what he brings to the team, without him, I don't know where you go from there. Without serious investment, and we need serious investment as it is, without considering trying to replace Kane as your number 9 and your main playmaker, and he gets more assists than bloody anyone. So it's just, he's just a stumbling, crumbling mess, isn't it? I mean, if the best that you can hope for to cheer you up over a weekend is for them mugs down the road to bottle it to cheer you up, then it's a sad state of affairs, isn't it? And I've got to say, I did watch the game yesterday, and the loudest cheering came when the final whistle come and they'd lost the game. But you know, it's a sad situation, isn't it? When you're more interested in what happens to them than what happens to you, because you know your season's over, finished, finito, with nowhere to go. So yeah, it's a real sad state of affairs, isn't it? Real sad state of affairs. And this is without even touching on the terrible performance against Aston Villa, who not so long ago were looking at being relegation fodder, and now they're up there in the European spaces, and they're likely to take it from us. So it just shows you what a good manager with a good vision and a good direction can achieve. I mean, it's like Brighton, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest. If you look at Brighton, they're fantastic. They play good football. They got great recruitment, got a clear vision. They're all pulling in the same direction, and that leads to success. With us, we're just all over the place, and that's from the top. Like, for me, this all comes down to Daniel Levy's tinkering and divering and penny pinching and all the rest of it. So, you know, if you ask me the question, Levy out or Levy in, then there's no answer. Levy's got to be out. Now, that doesn't necessarily, in my mind, doesn't necessarily mean he needs to leave the club, but he needs to be out of the football altogether and concentrating on ENIC as a business, not just using our name to build what he wants. I just can't see that happening. And I can't see him moving on either, because there's too much money in it. There's too much money to be made for this company. And having a football club as at the head of it, it's really appealing. Really appealing. Worldwide exposure. You know, football is the biggest sport in the world. Nothing creates more passion than football. So, and we're watched in every country around the globe. Don't matter where you go, you'll see football shirts. So, yeah, there you go. I just can't see it, but I hate the guys that are doing their protesting and so on, and making a good statement and having an effect in terms of awareness and so on. I think that can only be a positive thing. I don't think you'll beat him, but if you don't try, then you don't win, I guess. But yeah, anyway, apologies for the rambling, miserable stuff that I've just been chatting about, but it's how I'm feeling at the moment. Can't wait for this season to be over. The sooner it's over, the better, because then we can maybe forget about it for a week or two until we start getting involved in transfer speculation, the manager roundabout, director of football roundabout, and all that's yet to come, which will obviously heat up over the next few weeks whilst we start to try to pull together our plan for next season. But hey, we're never going to walk away from it. It's our club. We've been with them for most of us for all of our lives or whatever, so we're not going to walk away now. We're keeping the faith, keep on believing that things will get better at some point. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching if you do, and I'll speak to you again soon. Up the Spurs.